Okay, so this is a tutorial for the Year 7s completing the rhythm notation task. In class you should have gotten something looking a bit like this, where we've written or notated a 4-part composition using rhythms. So what we're going to look at today is how to put that onto MuseScore. First thing you want to do is make sure MuseScore is installed. I'll be doing it on MuseScore 3. Boot it up. There it is. So our job is on the software, we're going to try and write all this stuff up in the software so that it's on the computer. Now notice that we've got 4 instruments. I've got diary scrape, pen tap, clap, and a table palm. So we're going to create a new score. Click on the new score button. The name of this composition will be rhythm composition. You can put yourself as the composer if you are the rightful composer. Now, really importantly, over here where it asks you what sort of instruments are you writing for, you got to click on choose instruments. It might show up like a blank page like that, but click on that, go to next, and now you get to choose your instrument. Now this is a bit trickier because what you've got here are the orchestral instruments or the common instruments. They won't have things like this. They won't have a diary scrape or pen tap, and so I would suggest choosing an instrument which sounds like a diary scrape. So, for example, over here, I'd probably be looking at the unpitched percussion and the body percussion sections. Diary scrape. I'm going to choose a wood block. Okay, that will be the first instrument. My next one is a pen tap. So I reckon it sounds a bit like a finger click, so I'll use that. The clap, we've got a clap right here, hand clap. And finally, the table palm sounds a bit like a stomp, so I'll use a stomp. So we've got 4 instruments here. Wood blocks, finger snaps, hand claps, and stamp. If you want to rearrange them, you can use the up and down arrow to move it, because usually what happens is your lowest sound sits at the bottom of your score, and the highest sounds sit at the top. But I'll just do it in order of this, the handwritten notation. So there we go, we've selected the 4 instruments, or the 4 sound sources. Next. Now it asks you for the key signature. We are just writing for percussion, so no key signature is fine. Choose the normal 5 staves, 5 lines. Tempo we'll add in later. Next. Time signature is 4/4. You'll notice that we've written 4/4 because we want 4 beats a bar there. Okay, so 4/4. And how many bars are we composing? We're composing 4 bars. So change the number of bars to 4. Right, finish. And now here's what we have. We've got 4 lines of music for the 4 different instruments here. If you want to rename the instruments, you right click it, go to staff properties, and then you can change all the settings here. Okay, so I might just quickly do that just to make sure that the instruments are the same. So diary scrape, pen tap, clap, and table palm. First one, diary scrape. Okay, the second one is the pen tap. And I'm using a lot of copy and pasting. Just, you all know the shortcuts, Control C and Control V to make your job a bit easier. Hand clap stays the same. I might just call it a clap. And finally, the bottom one stamp can stay the same, because we had a table. No, let's change it to table palm. Copy and paste and paste. Okay, so there we have it. This is your 4 bars, and you will notice that when there's no notes in there, the computer automatically puts a rest in here. So don't worry about this symbol. This is a semi-brief rest. It's a 4-beat rest. Once we start putting notes in, that will disappear. It might change it to other forms of rest. Now our job is to put these notes, the ticka ticka ta, rest, ti ti, into this first bar. To do that, click on the bar. It should go blue. Click on note input, and now it's time to put the notes in. You will notice there's some shortcuts which appear at the bottom, A and B. So we want to start with ticka ticka ta. In fact, what I'll do is I'll bring this page on the left so you can see what we want, and I'll put this on the right so you can see what we're putting in. We want 4 semiquavers. What you need to do is select the semiquaver here, the one with 2 tails, and we put in notes. To put in notes, you press letter A, like what the shortcut says. So A will drop a note in for you, and we want 4 of them. Now the next note we want is a crotchet. So we select the crotchet, click on the crotchet note, and you press A to drop a note in. For a rest, the shortcut key is 0, or you can go to the menu and click on the rest button and drop that in. Okay. I'll just widen the screen a little. There we go. And the last one is T. So select the 2 quavers. You can click A to drop the notes in. There we go. Now you can have a listen. What I like to do is double tap escape so that you're not selecting anything with your cursor. And that's the rhythm. Cool. Let's continue. I'm going to show you a new way of putting notes in so that it's a bit quicker. First of all, the shortcut for putting notes in is N for note input. So if you click N on your keyboard, it will let you put into note input mode. All right, we want ticka ticka tick tick ta rest. So instead of pressing this with your mouse, another shortcut is if you press number 3. Notice that that's the shortcut for the semiquavers. Number 4 is the shortcut for the quavers, and 5 is shortcut for the crotchets. So if you press 3 on your keyboard, it will navigate to the semiquavers, and then you can press A. That means you can put a lot of the notes in just using the keyboard. We want to use quavers, so you press 4 to select quavers and drop 2 of those notes in. Press 5 for a crotchet, drop a note in. And finally, the rest can just be a 0. Okay, we're up to the 3rd bar. We're up to here now. So once again, semiquavers, ticka ticka ta, tick tick ta is what we want. 3 is semiquavers, ticka ticka. 5 is crotchet ta. 4 is quavers, tick tick. And 5 is crotchet ta. Now, if you make a mistake, you can just hit backspace. We'll delete whatever you've got. Okay? So if you need, you can delete notes by going backspace, or you can tap escape so you're not selecting stuff. Select the note you don't want and hit the delete button. That works as well. So if you want to delete a whole bar, you can select the whole bar and delete. That will get rid of it. We didn't want that. And also, of course, you know about the undo key. Control Z is undo, and Control Y is usually redo if you undid the wrong thing. Anyway, I'm going to quickly get through this this notation. So, crotchet, quavers, back to crotchet, and last bar is ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. There we go. So what you can now do is select the first note. Of course, if you're selecting something else, it's best to double tap escape so you're not selecting stuff. Click on the first note, goes blue, and you can press spacebar to hear what it sounds like. Now, I'm going to draw your attention to this really good menu, which is the play panel. On the play panel, I'll just shrink it a bit so it's not covering the music. What you can do is you can tell the computer where you want to start the music, from the start or from the middle and so on. You can even turn on the metronome so you can hear the timing. And it clicks every beat. There you go. So that's how you put notes in to MuseScore. Now I'm just going to really quickly get through the rest of the notes. You can fast forward if you want, and I'll show you how to save your work once it's all done. So firstly, let's put all the notes in. Rest. Okay, that's the pen tap done. Clap. Oh, nice and easy clap. 4 claps. 4 rests. 8 quavers. And 16 semi-quavers. Whoops, I did it wrong. 3. And finally, table palm. The shortcut for putting notes in is A, as listed at the bottom. If you're using instruments or pitched, other instruments which are pitched, there's often other letters like A, B's, and C's and whatnot. But for percussion, it's usually just one sound, so A will do it. All right, table palm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Whoopsies. Remember that for your rests, you need to have the correct rest as well. So a full beat rest has to be a crotchet rest. If you put quaver rest and whatnot, it could be a problem. Rest, play, rest, 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 and okay, so there's all the music done. Remember to save your work. File, save, or Control S is a shortcut, and you should have some sort of system with saving. Okay, so I would suggest having a Year 7 music folder to put all your work in, both on your computer as well as on Google Drive. For this, just call it, and with your name of your file, it's often a great idea to have your name in the file name. So, rhythm composition. Because you can imagine when you submit it to the teacher, if they all look the same, it's hard to tell whose work it is. So there we go. Now we can have a listen to this all together. Let's have a go at that. There's a play panel. We can tell it to play slower by slowing down the tempo. That's what our comp sounds like. All right, so make sure you save your work, and that's all done. What you will need to do once you're done is, after you've saved it, you will also need to export it. Exporting makes that file into a different file, like a PDF, so that we can view it outside of this software, and so on. So I'm going to suggest save it as a PDF in the same folder, Year 7 Music, as well as saving it, exporting it as a sound file. If the MP3 works, it's a great idea to do it as an MP3. You may need to download a driver or something like that. Anyway, I hope that was helpful for you. The bell's gone, so I gotta leave. But all the best with MuseScore. Once you know how to use it, it will be amazing. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye.